Mr. Harvey J. Scuttlebutt had lived in the same apartment for years. Every day, with a calm skill that came from years of repetition, he went about his morning routine, which had not changed since he was hired at the job he now held for almost as many years as he had rented his apartment. Mr. Scuttlebutt was a turtle of a man, or rather behaved much like a turtle in the aspect of poking his head out in public. He did not fancy the common populace, and tried, and many times failed, to stay largely estranged from it.
How's it going? Oh, I'm doing good.
I need 60 cents from you.
Quarter.
Thank you. Just need a quarter.
There you go.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
See you around.
Hi. Hi, how you doing? Yep. Need 60 cents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Me too.
Paper.
$1.
Yeah.
He was contently ignorant of much of life's larger goings-on, and frankly, it was just as well. There was really no need to worry his worthless little mind with thoughts of a grander design. Nothing about this man was very special, except for the fact that he deemed was enough to grant him the right of asylum from the horde of common society. Mr. Scuttlebutt was better than everyone else.
Hi. How are you?
He sipped his coffee with a staggering degree of skill that put all the other coffee drinkers in the cafe to shame. His starched white shirts were just a bit whiter and starchier than those around him, and his tie hung a tad straighter. That in itself granted him the right to utterly snub a society filled with commoners. He chuckled to himself at those in the cafe, dressed in their lesser white shirts, as he sipped his coffee again, this time with even more finesse.
Waitress.
I think we'll partake in a donut.
What kind?
Plain.
All right, that'll be 75 cents.
After handing the waitress the coins with great agility, he sat back to await his pastry. He glanced around in contempt of the other cafe-goers.
A fine audience.
He thought. He believed there were just enough people so that his feat of pastoral excellence would not be wasted.
Here you are, sir. 1 plain donut.
The waitress brought his plain donut to him not quite as expediently as he would have liked. He considered denying her the privilege of witnessing him dine on the donut, but he was feeling rather generous that day. With a grandiose gesture, he began his performance. His teeth closed around the not quite sweet enough piece of dough as he took his first bite magnificently. His jaw moved up and down with the grace of a spider spreading its gossamer. He smiled at the thought of how the people around him must be reacting, the jubilant celebration of his triumph over the pastry.
The crowd that must be forming. The awe they must feel.
He thought. He began to smile to himself, and with confidence he took an even larger bite. A larger, more magnificent bite than any of those around him could fathom. Now, before he could commence his stately chewing process, the larger bit of donut dove for his uvula. The flow of air to his fabulous lungs was stopped with superb abruptness. His hands came up around his neck as he opulently racked to free the donut. Inconceivably, he had almost given up hope when a thought of astonishing brilliance bubbled into his superior mind.
Surely a member of my adoring public will save me.
He glanced round the room as the cafe-goers merely sipped their coffee and read their newspapers. He was filled with a dreadful shock as he magnificently choked to death.